It's more just whether somebody coming on to our show is like, oh, I'm on an episode of a podcast where they slagged someone else off.
Hello and welcome to Gotaproblemmate podcast. I think that should stay in. You're having a little crisis.
I'm not having a crisis.
You look panicked.
Trying to work out where the line is.
Joey wants to slag someone off.
I don't want to slag someone off unduly. They deserve it.
But there's still a slagging off.
Huh?
It's still a slagging off.
Give me 30 quid and then I won't. Because I'll get my money back and then I won't.
Well, get 30 quid off him.
But he's not going to give it to me, is he? He's like some
never
big
know.
shot, Hollywood big-time comedian superstar.
Well, he has a spare 30 quid, I'd say.
I would say so.
Yeah.
He kept on saying on stage, I'm very rich. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, but it's funny. If he was doing well,
Let's not start the episode like this.
I think it's good.
But it's the first time a lot of people have been listening to the podcast or watching it. Hello. So let's start properly. I'll get into it.
Hello. Welcome to Got a Problem Mate podcast.
My name's Joey Page. I am a stand-up comedian. Here's my good friend Bilal Zavar. He's also a stand-up comedian and actor.
Hello, you're an actor.
I'm an actor.
Don't give yourself that.
Yeah.
Do you call yourself a writer?
Yeah.
I do, but I don't really write a lot.
This is the podcast where we solve your problems, if you've bothered to email them in.
And each other's problems.
If we've got them.
And a guest's problem. They will have one.
They will have one. That's the format of the show. I actually told the guest today. Yeah.
How have you been?
I'm great. Do you like my shirt today?
Yeah, it's nice.
I've worn a big proper dress-up shirt for a big proper dress-up guest.
Oh, right. I've worn like what I wear when I sleep.
Yeah. You have. Do you sleep in that many clothes?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
your flat must be terrible.
Keep it warm, have my socks and shoes on.
Well, in case you've got to leave at a moment's notice.
You never know. You never know. There could be... Where were you when you were talking?
I'm staying hydrated for this episode.
Okay.
I want my brain to be working at top capacity.
You were telling me you were on holiday somewhere and you were worried that pirates would get you?
Yeah.
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 It's like that, same principle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know.
I was on holiday at the Pirates Cove mini golf centre.
Yeah. Have you played mini golf?
Huh? Yeah.
Have you? Proper with the windmill and everything?
Yeah.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really good.
Oh, for the Patreon, we've got a Patreon. Maybe we should film me and you having a little crazy golf match.
I'd love it.
I would absolutely annihilate you.
You wouldn't?
Yeah.
Did you have, the one I did, there was a thing where you could just play the course sort of normally, but there was also a little
you
stream.
could play it ripped off your tits on boots.
Well, yeah, you could. It was more of a family-friendly one, this one. There was a little stream.
Just in the summer... come off the beach in just your trunks. Had like 1.5 liters of Smirnoff Ice.
That's you. No, that's a you problem. Don't project that onto me and the listeners. There was a little stream next to the course and you could pop the ball in there and it would carry it along.
Oh, that is special. Where was that? Give him a plug. You can't remember, can you?
No.
Speaking of which,
if I remember.
Let's have a little... shout out to our sponsors today.
No.
I was wearing their t-shirt last week.
That's not a sponsor though.
I was wearing their t-shirt last week and then I'm going to say them now and then I'm going to email them the clip of this and then they're going to be sponsors of the show. Crazy Alan Swamp Shack in Kamar, Texas. I think it might be Kemah, actually. I've been there, right? That's where I got the shirt from. And they've got Taco Tuesdays, $3 tacos all day. They've got the Lent special, which is a fresh fish supper for Lent. Only $18.99 a serving. Plus, if you sign up for their mailing list on your birthday, you get a free entree and you get a starter and a drink just for signing up. That's Crazy Alan Swamp Shack. Sorry. They're the new sponsors of the show. No. They're going to send us more t-shirts and hats and things. And they've got a real live alligator. I don't know if that's good or bad.
What?
I saw it when I was
What do you mean?
Yeah,
where?
In a tank.
Serving the food?
No.
You said you have to sign up to their mailing list on your birthday.
No, and on your birthday, they send you a...
Okay. And what merch do they have? Do they have?
They got that t-shirt I was wearing last week on the podcast.
They have one t-shirt.
They might have hats as well. I find it hard to believe as a hat wearer. If they had a hat, I would have bought the hat. But they don't have a shop on here, which is the main reason we're doing this.
Let me see the gallery.
Well, it's not great podcast content, is it?
Well, we can have it up on the screen if it's
Look
good.
At that.
We could ask our guest if he's been there.
Yeah, I will ask. Obviously, we'll be asking him that. He might be in one of the pictures in the
that
gallery.
Guy with the beard and no moustache.
Yeah, that's creepy, isn't it? Look at all that tail. And I'm not talking about the women. I'm talking about with the shrimp tail. Fresh crawfish.
What's crawfish? I don't know.
I think it's shrimp.
Like lobster?
Yeah,
Shrimp?
sort of lobsters. Hybrid mashup.
So what do they do here?
They have live
seafood?
music. Or maybe we'll see if we can gig there.
Mate, of course we can do a gig there.
Can we do a gig there?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I would.
Got
to write some stuff about Walmart.
Yeah.
Wendy's.
Walmart.
What else do they have? Applebee's. What else do they have? IHOP.
International House of Pancakes.
I've been to an IHOP.
Hello to all our new American friends.
Yeah, this is the thing. That's probably why we shouldn't have talked about a random mini golf place I went to in like Essex.
Oh, but you also told me I couldn't talk about my experience last night.
You can.
The Soho Theatre.
So
I saw one of the worst performances from a comedian I've ever seen in my entire life.
You saw a show, an hour-long show?
Hour-long show. How much? What's the going rate of an hour-long show at the Soho Theatre?
I'm not really sure. I think it's anywhere between sort of £11 and £20.
And now put it into US dollars. Don't bother. They can work it out.
Yeah.
Well, 30 quid, right?
So that's $40, is it?
I don't know. Anyway,
yeah,
it's not important. Don't look up the exchange rate. It's not really the important thing.
Yeah.
The comedian came out and he said, 3 hours ago I had a show. Then a trailer for my new reality TV show came out. And now everybody in the world on the internet hates me. Which I don't know how true that was.
I don't know him, so.
And I thought it was part of the bit. He was like, my phone is just like in my pocket with people just telling me how much they hate me. And the main reason that he said that they hated him was because he's a black guy and he's got, he only goes out with white guys and it's a reality show about being a black gay man and all the black gay men are angry at him because he will only go out with white gay men, right? Fine. But he kept on just not doing any show and looking at his phone, sometimes not even reading out the tweets that he was looking at. And he was like, I just can't concentrate. But it's like, well, end the show, give us our money back.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then there was like, it was like when a boxer, you know, is really good, but will only throw like 2 punches in a fight for whatever reason.
Yeah, I've seen it happen.
And it's like, and then he kept on saying really unlikable things like, oh, I know Kanye West, I know Taylor Swift. I am very rich. And it's like, I'm not, and I've spent 30 quid on your show. Just do like, and it was like a couple of times, they made us put our phones in a bag, you know, and then lock bags.
One of those.
Yeah, right? They made us put a phone in a lock bag.
Yeah.
And then someone in the audience went, I think it's a bit unfair that you've made us put our phones in a bag and you haven't done that to yours.
That's funny.
And then that kind of snapped him into action. He did like maybe one joke.
Okay, good.
And then he went back to looking at his phone.
What?
I'm exasperated.
That is nuts.
And because I'm a comedian and there was other comedians in there that I knew, and I was tantalizingly close to the exit. I wanted to sneak out, right? Yeah. But I didn't want to be like, you know, you do want to be supportive to other comedians, right? But also, and let's have it right. Like this guy, he's been in a film recently that's nominated for an Oscar. He's hosted is it the Golden Globes?
I don't know.
One of those big ones, right? So I thought, what an amazing thing to see such a big comedian in such a small space.
SNL as well.
SNL.
Yeah, hosted SNL.
Is that what you're into?
No.
And yeah. So, but I didn't want the other comedians in the room to judge me for walking out. And I thought, well, maybe every now and again he'd do a tiny little bit, and you're like, oh, here we go, and then he'd just go back to looking at his phone.
£30 is so much money for a ticket.
And it's like, you know, when you have an idea when you're doing a work in progress, and you think, oh, I might do that.
Yeah.
And he is a very confessional stand-up, and maybe he thought, oh, this would be a good basis for the. But then when it doesn't work, and I don't genuinely think that's what he was doing, it doesn't work, then
do anything else, right?
Do any of the material from your like 3 specials.
The thing is, when you've had as a comedian, when you've had a bad day, I think that can bring out quite a good spicy performance sometimes.
But this was like just.
But this doesn't sound like that.
And he sits down a lot, which is fine.
Yeah.
But at one point, he was basically like lying on the stage. What are you doing, man?
What room was he in?
Downstairs.
The
cabaret.
Yeah.
Bar.
Well, I'm doing Soho Theatre in May, and upstairs, and I will do a proper show if anyone wants to. And it's less than 30
I will come unless I'm trying to meet Jeff Goldblum like last time you did it.
That happened. That's a true story. If anyone watching doesn't know.
Yeah.
I invited him to my Soho Theatre show. I was like, I'll sort you out with a free ticket.
Just
and you
jealous
said,
I'm not doing
can't, mate. Might meet Jeff Goldblum. And then you didn't.
I saw it. I stood near him.
Yeah, but no, that doesn't count.
I was trying to get him on the podcast.
You watched him do a weird show.
But I'm glad.
Was he doing jazz?
Yeah, he was doing jazz. Other people's jazz.
I don't know a lot about jazz.
I don't. It's like covers. I tell you, he wouldn't do either of those things. I don't think.
Who
is our guest today?
Oh, that's really good. That's a great.
Fucking A.
That was fair play.
Yeah. I should say, if you're enjoying this episode, especially if you're new, please do rate and review it on whatever platform you're listening to, or if you're watching it, just like or comment because it helps us get juggernauts of guests like this. Oh, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're good, thanks.
We were literally recording the intro and got to the point where we were fake introducing you. So you actually turned up like impeccably on time.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's like almost a bit spooky.
Hell yeah.
So how you doing?
I'm doing well. So yeah, I was scrambling. I was like looking at the end time. Like it starts at 11 a.m. I'm like, no, it starts at 10. You're just looking at 1. I'm not batting 1,000 right now. I'm not at 100%, but I feel good. If that's for anything.
Where are you?
I'm in New York City. If you can't hear cab drivers honking at ghosts right now, I'm in New York.
Well, let's start. We'll kind of introduce you properly in a minute. I just want to make sure like you're all right and say hello. I'm Joey. It's Bilal.
Nice to meet you.
Great to meet you guys. Yeah, hopefully the connection's all right. Let me make sure the Wi-Fi was not great in this hotel, but I'm going to turn it on just to make sure.
There's a little delay, but it's not too
backup.
bad.
Is there? All right, let me see.
I think it might have got better.
So the Wi-Fi was actually worse than the data, so I don't know if that's going to mess things up.
Give it a go.
Yeah, we'll just see what happens.
All right. Yeah, let's let it rip.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Shall we do our intros?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's better. That's a bit of a clearer picture, so that's good.
Is it? Okay.
Okay.
So we both do an introduction for our guests each, and then you can decide which is the best one. That's
nice.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
And tell me your name so I get it straight. Yeah.
I'm Bilal.
I'm Joey.
Bilal. Joey, so
Yeah,
I can
that's
pick.
it.
Okay.
Easy peasy. Yeah, I'm gonna go first.
Okay.
All right. So, our guest today, I've never been more excited to have a guest on this podcast because, let's be honest, our guests are not all they should be cracked up to be sometimes. But today, this guy is currently, I should take the word currently out, my favourite stand-up comedian.
Currently.
I've never seen somebody put out as many consistent specials as this guy. And I just love his point of view on comedy because he kind of is an outsider that everyone seems to want to be friends with and is more often than not cheery about things, whereas most contemporaries his age just sort of say how rubbish life is and get angry at stuff. He's a really brilliant performer and his new special Dirt Nap is out and it is as spectacular as the last 3, which is a really hard thing to do. Our guest today, Kyle Kinane.
That's pretty good.
Now. You're not going to be able to beat that.
You watch this.
Yeah, you watch this.
So now I'll do mine. Thank you for your patience.
That was good.
Ladies and gentlemen of our audience, Got a Problem Mate podcast. Today we've got a proper guest. That's right. The rest have been poor, mainly booked by Joey Page. But today we've got an American, and it's not often we get to speak to Americans. So I'm very excited about that. They are the main character of the world, in my opinion. Today's guest is from Illinois. Addison, Illinois, all the way from out there. He is a massive comedian at the moment. He's done loads and loads of specials on YouTube that I've watched 2 of, and he's got millions of views, as well as being an excellent podcaster and something he's done which I absolutely love, which I don't know if he even, it's probably not brought up that much. He's a voice, maybe in one episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which I absolutely love. Everyone, it's Kyle Kinane. So those are the intros.
Ooh, all right. Okay, and I got to pick right now, huh?
Just one of them.
Okay. I mean, listen. I honestly, Joey, I feel like yours was a little more. Bilal, yours was well researched, more facts,
Yeah.
a little more passion out of Joey's, a little more sincerity out of Joey's.
But it's not real.
A current favorite comedian. I know, but you could have fooled me, and that's all that counts.
He said current, though.
You just had to win me over.
Yeah.
I like it when somebody's like, "You got to be like one of my top 5 favorite comedians." That just means you're 5th.
Yeah.
That means you're the 5th one.
Oh, is that what that means? I've been in a couple of top 100s, so
yeah, yeah. You got to be like in my top 29 favorite comedians. I'm 29. This is the 29th guy.
Yeah. So it goes without saying we're absolutely like just so excited that you're on the podcast today, but unfortunately there is a chance that you won't make it through the whole episode because we vet every guest, and Bilal is going to vet you to just check that you're all right to be on the podcast. He's got a few questions that he wants
I'm sure
to ask
you understand. You know, it's
like we had Bill Burr.
Yeah, it's only you're just being responsible.
Bill Burr, he didn't pass the test, so we haven't even put that episode out. Seinfeld can't put that one out.
Bill Burr, he's angry at the best of times.
They're on their way out.
So, Kyle, I'm going to ask you 6 questions.
They're on their way out anyway.
Yeah. If you could please answer honestly, and you do get a score in the end. Question number 1, best holiday destination?
Destination? Is this a trick? Is this like a hometown pride thing? Like I have to say wherever you guys are at?
It's really not that complicated.
Oh, man. Can it be like a climate? Can it be like a climate region? Mm-hmm. I say tropical at all times.
You stay tropical.
I agree.
You're sad. You go to tropical environs. A beach, a tropical beach, clear blue waters, something with like brightly colored fish.
You know, these
in my head, I'm thinking Hawaii, but you got a place that can provide that. I'll go to it.
You know, people that want to go to like Antarctica as a holiday, don't they make you sick?
I can't get on board with that.
I have. You know what? It's not my. If I'm taking a vacation, I'm taking a vacation.
Yeah, same.
I'm not trying to learn anything.
Yeah,
I'm sure that penguins are great to see up close, but I got
the zoo.
I got YouTube.
Yeah,
yeah. I can go see those. I can see a giraffe somewhere that I need to see a giraffe, but I'm trying to see some Mai Tais on my trip.
Question number 2: who are you jealous of?
Ooh. Anyone with like basic coordination or athletic ability.
Yeah.
Me.
Like people that are just. What? Are you an athlete?
I'm okay at.
Or do you have like a secret hidden skill that you're good at? No. Footy?
Yeah, footy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wish I was like good at skateboarding or anything. I think that would be. Even though I'm 47, I still want to be a good skateboarder. So anybody that's good at anybody who can kick flip.
But your new look screams 47-year-old skateboarder.
You know what? I'm glad you recognize that.
Yeah.
So you're just reinforcing the fact that I made the right choice by picking your intro. So thank you. See, all the flattering goes a long way.
Question number 3: what do you think of Britain, really?
Britain, really? I was in Leicester one time, and there was like young children that should have been in school, but instead they were just in the town square smoking cigarettes and kicking a half-inflated soccer ball at each other. And then I watched 2 guys almost get in a fight in the library. And I was like, well, this is pretty gnarly. And then I had I thought I was really curious. These are just observations. I guess it's not an opinion. You know what? I've enjoyed my time there. I wish I was there. It's all dreary but it's nice. People are built for it. Or I was there in the summer when it was nice and nobody would come inside to see comedy shows.
Yeah. 100%.
So I had to resign myself to that. But too many people in London. I'll say that. I'm not a big fan of giant crowds, as I'm in New York City.
Yeah.
I saw a line of people just to get on the subway, like the line of humans on the sidewalk waiting to get on the tube, and I panicked just seeing an amount of people. So, but let me go to the countryside. Let me see where they filmed American Werewolf in London. Let me go to that. I want to go to that pub that's off the moors.
Oh, off the moors, yeah.
Sheep's
I think
Head?
I've been
Was
to
it
that.
the Sheep's
Actually.
Head pub?
Yeah, I think I've been there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a real place? Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
go there. Anyway, I dig it. Yeah, I'm down with it. It's not
Thank
tropical,
you.
but I'll let you have it. You're still an island.
Thank you.
Still an island, very much still an island.
Question number 4: would you do a corporate gig for $10 million, but it's for the for the U.S. nuclear weapons program?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? What? They're gonna spend the $10 million on somebody. Why not somebody who takes it and then is like, you're not gonna believe these creeps I got all this money from.
Okay.
Give me inside access. I'll blow it up from the inside.
Oh.
Let me get in there. Talk some shit. Get some secrets out of there.
See, I told you he was going to be a good guest.
Yeah. Question 5.
Money's not going to buy my loyalty. Give me that 10 mil.
Final question, Kyle. Do you have a gun?
Yeah, I have 2 of them.
Oh. What are they like?
I mean, what are they like?
I don't know. I've never really seen one.
You've never really seen one.
Well, one end you hold. One end you hold, and the other end you don't want to be anywhere near.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think we should let you anywhere near one.
I'm going to get one. Carl, thank you very much.
I shouldn't be near him, but it's America. They just give them to you.
Good guy with a gun. Yeah. You've scored 7,000 points. That's an excellent score. You can now stay on the podcast.
Cool.
Thank you.
Nice.
Right, do you want to?
I'm welcome to it.
What a feeling.
So, Kyle, I want to go straight into my problem because it's kind of related to something that I think you do very well, unless you just make it look like that's what you do. As a stand-up comedian, and the problems are not normally like this comedy focused, but while we had you on, I wanted to pick your brains. You seem like you write a lot of your stuff on stage, and I want to get better at that. And so my problem is I want to get better at writing on stage rather than like writing my stuff and trying to remember it and kind of being too rigid. But it's quite scary. Have you got any tips for that?
The serious answer to that would be that I'm kind of spoiled at this point because I headline on weekends. So I'm doing 5, I do hour-long show in a comedy club, usually 5 shows in that club. So that's 5 hours that I have to start with an idea on Thursday, and then by the last show on Saturday, I've had a lot of time to mess around with it. And the audiences, for the most part, have been very generous and, I guess, let's say patient with me, you know? But the writing, I'm terrible. I would like to know the other way. I can't sit and write. As soon as I commit something to paper or on a screen, it's the least funny thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, right.
So I can only write down 1 or 2 words and then go to an open mic and probably bomb really bad trying to figure it out. And then, you just gotta really embrace bombing, I guess.
Yeah, I think
gotta really get excited about this thing. People are gonna hate you for telling this, and you're gonna do it again tomorrow, and then the day after that, the day after that.
Yeah. I think I used to be a really surreal comedian for about 10 years, and then I just sort of grew out of it, for want of a better word, and then I basically had enough of bombing for 10 years, and now I've had 6 years of where it's been going really good, and it's I don't ever want to bomb again. I know no one does, but do you know what I mean? I was I don't want to bomb anymore. I've done my bombing, so now I'm just I just write it and writing. So I'm sure this is gonna work, and then of course sometimes it doesn't, but I'm I wish I was just a bit more loose. And whether you're doing it even and I'm sure by the time you get to your specials and stuff that we'll see, it's well drilled and well honed, but you do have such a gift for making it look like, you're just chatting to us and this has just come up on the spot.
Well, I've been lucky enough that the audience that I've built gives me a lot of leeway. So sometimes I think that's kind of dangerous because if you don't recognize it, you could take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And it may like without knowing it, you're abusing it. Like, oh, they're just laughing at everything I'm doing, so this must be great too. And then you got to take a minute to step back and go like, no, that's a pretty shitty bit. And you just have built-in fans that are along for the ride, but
Yeah.
that's not, you gotta have the hits. You can't just have one hit on the album and the rest of it's a bunch of they'll like it.
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais does that, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't watched any of his specials lately, but
Just poor quality jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
50-year-old atheist.
And I guess it's just like your output has been like really impressive in terms of like I liken you to do you know the musician Ty Segall?
Yes.
Yeah, you're like the him of comedy. Like you putting out like nearly 2 albums a year at the moment, it seems like.
Well, I mean, this is also a lot of this stuff is like pandemic backup. Like I had a lot of this stuff kind of written or was working on it concurrently with the last hour. So I was going to do maybe 2 hours last year, and I just kind of broke it up into what came out with the hour last year and then this year. But it's like I said, I'm on the road almost every weekend doing 4 or 5 hours worth of shows. And I can't say the same stuff over and over again without getting real bored.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a good salesperson in that way. Like comedians have to be really good salespeople. If you're not going to write new material, you have to really be able to shill and dance and sell your act. And I can't. I get real sick of my stuff. So I'll bomb just because at least I'm bombing with new stuff than falling out of love with comedy by repeating the same shit over and over again.
That's interesting because in the UK we usually do the Edinburgh Festival and we're expected to come up with a new hour every year. But I know in America there's a lot of guys who do the same stuff for like 10 years or whatever. And I remember Louis C.K. getting loads of praise for doing a new hour every year. Do you remember that? But we kind of
but that was
anyway.
a while back. I feel like
it
now
was
with specials, everybody's like doing an hour now.
Yeah, it's changed definitely. Yeah.
Well, I knew that about the UK and Edinburgh too, and I'd be like, he comes up with a new hour every year. I'm like, yeah, that's just what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's just what you do everywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
Is you do your festival show and then tour it, and you have to write a new hour on top of touring your festival show. That seems crazy to me.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, but I just think in the UK it's like because most people do, unless they're doing their own tour show, it's like everyone's doing like 20 minutes. So more often than not, by the time you've established who you are, by the time you've taken a risk, you might not have time to win them back. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I was talking to someone the other day about how you know how Richard Pryor once set himself on fire on stage, and we're all like frightened to try out a new bit in case we lose them and don't get rebooked for £150 gig. Do you know what I mean?
That kind of stuff seems. I don't know. I see the pluses and minuses. Like I really admire the fact that it's a new show every year, and you're like, all right, we're gonna go to Edinburgh. We're gonna do this for a month. Like I did it one time. I think 2015. I was there. And I thought I was gonna kill myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I was changing it up. I mean, which is what everybody says there. But first off, it was my fault. I didn't take care of myself. And I was out until the sunrise. Yeah. I stayed out till the sunrise every day, and then got out of bed when the sun went down. My show was in a literal dungeon at 10 p.m. and it was the bar that was shared the wall with my venue opened halfway through my set. Every night halfway through my set, techno music would start playing out of this bar like clockwork. And one night, finally, there wasn't techno music at 10:30, and I'm not paying attention to jokes because I'm repeating them. Like I said, I get bored. But I'm like, no techno music. Maybe this is going to be all right. And it was the one night the bar was closed and they were emptying all the bottles into the dumpster that was on the other side of my venue. So instead of techno, it was just just bins and bins of glass being poured into a receptacle. I'm like, why am I here? Nobody cares.
That is literally Edinburgh distilled.
And you guys do it every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of Americans get a bad deal though in Edinburgh. Definitely. Yeah, they get taken advantage of. Definitely. You should, any American comics watching us right now, you should contact us.
You're going to sort out a venue for them?
No, I'll advise them not to do the venue that Carl did.
And make sure that you charge them for that advice.
Yeah, of course. Would you ever do it again?
I had a publicist that not for a month. Well, and not to sound arrogant, it's like, okay, I go to excuse me, if I go to England, to Edinburgh for a month, and it's like, well, I could have just worked in America for a month.
Yeah.
I would have been in 4 or 5 different cities every weekend. I could have been home during the week. I would have made, not that it's about the money, but I went there. I paid money to a publicist, and I got there, and this woman introduced herself to me. And she's like, "Oh, I think I've heard of you." I'm like, "I would hope so. I gave you $1,500 to be my publicist." And that was the first day I got there. I'm like, I don't think this is going to go well. Like, I don't want to be negative. And they lost all my luggage, and then I didn't. So I just had the clothes that I wore on an overseas flight, and so I washed them. I was lucky too. I had a flat all to myself. I didn't even have roommates. But I washed all my clothes, like everything. I stripped down nude. Yeah, I stripped down nude, but then I didn't realize there wasn't a dryer. It was just like the little washing machine.
Yeah.
So my first day there, I was naked in this apartment with wet clothes drying on a drying rack because there's no dryer. Or I didn't know there was a dryer. Not. So I washed all my clothes. I'm just naked for a whole day in Scotland, and I can't leave the apartment because I have soaking wet clothes. And this lady doesn't know who I am. I'm like, I think I made a huge mistake.
Yeah, and it's the least tropical part of the UK as well. So
it was raining, but not the kind of fun rain on the beach.
No,
under a umbrella kind of thing. No, it was a lovely city. I look back on it, I can find the good parts, but I was also not a great person while I was there. So I'm putting that on me. I could have taken care of my mentality a little bit better instead of drinking until 5 a.m. every night.
It's hard,
but that's just what you do.
The amount of comedians that just have breakdowns in Edinburgh.
Well, it's because you would be in the bar and you'll be chatting to someone, and then they'll look over your shoulder and be like, "Oh, actually, that person can help my career more, so I'm off. See you later." Like, oh, I thought we were just actual friends.
Yeah, and just the whole city's clad in posters of how well everyone else is doing.
Yeah, totally.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know why we do it.
Yeah. Anyway, you're doing a show this year, right?
I don't know either.
And do you have plans to come to the UK in general for any gigs? Because I know that you're held in such high self-esteem, in such high regard by especially a lot of British comedians. But or do you just feel like with the internet, it's kind of like you said, there's no real need.
I don't know, you believe in yourself. Are you coming to England anytime soon? I was working on it. I was trying to sort out dates for is it the Bill Murray?
Oh yeah,
that's a club in London, and I'd get out there every couple years, and just I got caught up in scheduling stuff stateside, and it just didn't get around to it. But I absolutely want to get back there. For some reason, I feel like I never crack it over there. I've had some good shows, but it never kind of gets over the hump of you know what? Maybe I would do a good show over there. And I get there and it's 20 people, and I'm like, all right, that's a pretty long flight for this, but I'm going to give it my best. I'm going to try.
But when were you last here?
I think it was 2018, maybe. It was pre-Pando, and I was there. It was some beautiful summer you guys were having, and I was in
perfect
a goth. I was in a goth sex club in Camden.
And what about the shows?
Nobody wanted to be in a flat black painted sex dungeon when it's beautiful days. Everybody's outside having ice cream and everything, and I'm like, no, come on down to this basement and come see me do jokes.
But you do a lot better now, surely, in terms of ticket sales. You've
really improved. So
well, That is high in self-esteem. I definitely want to get back there. It's always like in the scheduling of like, I don't know why I look at it like it's got to be this epic journey. Well, if I'm going there, I got to make a tour out of it. I'm like, no, I could just go to London and come back. I can just go there and fly back. It's not a massive deal. I don't know why I treat it like that in my head.
Yeah, but also you would be able to just, I reckon you could pack a lot in, but you know, you got an agent for that. You don't need us to tell you that. One thing
I got some guy with his hand in my pocket doing that stuff.
So what I want to ask you about is you was on Seth Meyers this week. How is that experience for you? Because it's like it feels like you have to go on and kind of do material and pretend that it's a chat. And is that something that like that you quite like doing, or do you find them a bit like, is it almost a bit of an honor to do a late night talk show, or you're like, oh, it's just a necessary evil of promoting a thing, or do you want to like know what your experience of doing that was the other day?
It was great. It didn't feel forced at all. It was very relaxed. It doesn't have the steam that it once had, these late night appearances. It's far more, the landscape is much more two guys doing a podcast is the new Johnny Carson. So congratulations. But no, they're not trying. Especially like that one's on it. I think it starts at 11:30 at night or something. They're like, no, they want it to be loose. They know they're all comedians. They know that the comedy comes from it being maybe off the rails a little bit. So you get a little pre-interview. They ask you a few questions. What do you want to talk about? Yeah, sure. Do you have any anecdotes that you want us to lead you into? And then we legit talked about jokes that don't work. So I got to do a joke that does rub people the wrong way. In the like not set up like here's the joke. And so no, it was way more laid back and silly. And I think they kind of, not that their days are numbered, but that they're not the only large fish in the pond, and that podcasts, you could get more comedy fans. Yeah, I gotta talk about the New World Order a little bit more.
Yeah. Oh, please.
And plug my tour dates.
Do you bother with because I've seen your stuff on YouTube, obviously. Do you bother with the short form stuff? Like the little TikTok clips and all of that?
Mate, it's not hard to follow him on Instagram. Of course he does. What are you saying?
He's shaking his head.
Do your research, Bilal.
It's wild. I thought you were the more researched intro too. So
yeah.
No, I looked at Wikipedia.
But apparently, somebody just looked at the first page of the Google search results.
Yeah.
Didn't click to the second page.
It says here you're a comedian.
From doing what now? Doing how old?
Illinois?
Happy birthday. Yeah. I'm not gonna chastise you for your foreign pronunciation of it. TikTok. I don't want to do that. I still get caught on some of the stuff, but I do think social media is far more bad than it is good. I'm not saying it's an entirely bad thing. It can be used for good. I don't follow other comedians really on social media for my own well-being. Like, you know what I want to see? I want to see bicycles and cats. I'm going to follow bicycles and cats. I don't want to hear comedians who are telling me how to vote. No, I've done ketamine with you. You're not going to tell me how I should feel politically. I want bicycles and cats, or an amalgamation of the two. But that's pretty much what I've got my algorithm down to. And I love it when an advertisement is so far off from me. Like, I feel like I'm one step ahead of the Terminators. Do you need baby formula or shampoo? I'm like, yeah, fuck you, robots. You don't know anything about me. So.
See, mine's got me down to a T. Like, I'm getting advertised shirts and hats like this all the time. I'm like, great. I don't even have to look. I just go, send it to me.
Yeah, you're falling for it, man.
Yeah.
I was falling for some of it. It was getting a little too close. a belt made out of climbing rope. Surely this is the sexiest accessory I can own.
So one other thing I wanted to talk to you about before we get to Bilal's problem, and then we'll get to your problem, because otherwise this podcast's got no format, and I know you know from your podcast how much the format really matters, you know. But
you gotta have formats, gotta have segments.
Yeah, what I am really enjoying, or I've always really enjoyed about your stuff, but especially it feels like in this special, it rewards not these clips, but watching the whole thing, because you've got like some great big chunks that you couldn't even get it on a reel because they're like more than a minute and a half long. Like the Fast and Furious bit I'm thinking of mostly. And then the way that, and I'm not spoil it for anyone, but the way that it like ties together at the end with like, it's really clever how it kind of brings everything together, which you're good at anyway, but I feel like on this special, you especially nailed it. And it's like, it almost is like reminding a comedy audience, oh, you know, it doesn't have to be like short, meaningless throwaway bits. Like you can enjoy it like you would enjoy an album in music. And yeah, I just wondered how on purpose that was, or whether you just thought, oh, I've written a really long bit about Fast and Furious and I'm just going to lean into it.
Well, I mean, that goes to the writing. Like, if I'm having fun with something, it gets longer because I keep adding stuff while I'm on stage. So it's not necessarily conscious that I'm writing a long bit. It's like, oh, you laughed at that? Well, here's another detail that, oh, you still laughed at that? What? And you just keep adding stuff until the laughs are getting less than more. And like, okay, but I mean, again, like I said, this is the thing. I like performing. I like doing an hour. I still really love it. And you see these TikTok personalities that, I mean, they might be doing well, but I make a living touring. I make a living doing live shows. So they're going to go, okay, now you got an hour of this TikTok personality.
Oh yeah.
You consumed it 30 seconds at a time. Okay, how are you going to keep me in my seat for an hour? And so I think a lot of them struggle when they do get to like perform live, and I don't know what they make through branding or marketing. I don't know what they do for being like, at this point, everybody just feels like a NASCAR driver with just all their sponsors listed on their outfits, you know, but hey, there's my character. I'm a guy that wears a hat. Look at this guy with his fucking hat. Anyway, it's brought to you by BetterHelp and pills that make your dick grow and food delivery services. It's like that your 10-second bit is garnering you $50,000 in sponsors. But so I don't have that. Like, no, this is sit down, get your drinks, and hang out, because I'm going to tell you these longer things. So relax. Well, I really would like people to sit and watch it. Like, watch it on your TV. I know it's on YouTube, but you can watch YouTube on TV. It's the future. So go sit and like put your phone down and watch it like you would be at a comedy club. Take a break from all this other bullshit and enjoy it. So.
Yeah, man.
And have you always wanted to do like storytelling sort of stand-up? Or I imagine when you started, obviously, it would have had to have been, much shorter bits.
Well, like I'm sure you guys are aware, you start, you get 5 minutes, so you want to put as many jokes as you can in there in 5 minutes. And then if you do well enough at 5 minutes, somebody gives you 10 minutes or 15 minutes, but you didn't write 10 or 15 minutes worth of jokes. So those 5-minute jokes get a little bit, the pizza dough gets a little bit stretched out. And then that's, like I said, that's it. Now I got an hour, like, here's one idea I'm working on. If people are enjoying it, I'll just keep adding stuff to that. There's always details. There's not always just a punchline, but there's always details that can flush out a story. So my short game is terrible.
Yeah.
My my one-off, I bomb on 5 and 10 minute sets so much. I can't even get started.
Yeah.
I'm getting a light. I'm like, but wait, no. Anyway, enough about me. This is my act. Like, oh shit, I gotta get off stage.
And Kyle, what is your problem that you've brought into the show today? What can me and BZ help you with?
Okay, it's kind of like I want to figure out how I can ingratiate myself with my neighbors. Like, I just moved to a new neighborhood, and I bought a little tiny house, but it's just me. I'm just the only guy there. and I live next to like couples and families and everything. So I feel like I project a lot. I feel like I look like the weirdo in the neighborhood because I'm just a single guy that is playing electric guitar way too late into the evening in his house
way
by
too late
himself.
into life.
And then well, that too. Yeah, I mean, all right. Well, if you want to be mean about it, yeah, I guess. Hey, man, these Slash solos aren't going to suck at themselves. So I thought I was being a good neighbor the other day, and I saw my neighbor across the street left the trunk open on his car. It was open like all day with the light on, and then it was nighttime. I noticed the trunk was still open. The boot. And I'm like, well, let me go tell this neighbor. I haven't met him yet, but let me go up to his door, ring his doorbell, like, hey man, I noticed your trunk was open, so I'm letting you know as a neighbor. But then he didn't answer the door, but they had one of those video doorbells, which I don't know. I didn't know that those recorded audio. So I know it's videotaping me, but I kept starting to talk, but then I'm like, I must look like an idiot. It doesn't. So I'm just like, hey, you're and then I just walked away. So I just went up and did like this weird, and then I got a text. I did get a text. My other neighbor does have my number, and he got the number. He's like, hey, so this is the neighbor whose house you just came up to? What's going on? I'm like, oh, I just noticed your trunk was open, and I thought your camera didn't have audio. Like, I just blathered and looked like a fucking idiot. And I tried to be like, hey, but if you see anything weird going on at my house, you better tell me. And now I feel like I made it like, hey, I used to sell drugs, so if you see people coming around my house, don't be afraid. We all got guns. Don't be afraid to break them out, man. But I guess I'm wondering how I could look less like a weirdo in my neighborhood as a single man in a neighborhood of families.
Well, as a single man who looks a bit like a weirdo in my neighborhood, it is hard. But I find that the way in, I think the way in is the old people, because the old people don't really care about how weird you look, because they're weird because they're old and they don't know. And so I talk to all the old people around where I live, and then I think when other people see me talking to the old people, they're like, he seems nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a real good answer. And the old people have been the kindest ones.
Yeah, right.
They've been like, you moved in. Hey, how you doing?
But when you've got,
that's a good answer.
I mean, I don't know what's going on under the hat. I can see some hair coming out the back now. So I don't know if you're kind of sort of like Hulk Hogan-esque kind of. Do you know? It's not.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
So yeah, I mean, it's not a kid. It's not a kid-friendly look. Do you know what I mean? For either of us.
No, I look like a mugshot of anything.
You look like a mugshot of you after your career is done.
Yeah.
Like, you see the pictures on.
He robbed a liquor store.
Like when they show you when you're on the internet not doing the work you're supposed to be doing, and they're like, look at Nick Nolte now, and it's always that one picture of him looking super frazzled.
It's always Nick Nolte can win an Oscar at this point, and then they'll still put the picture of him just blasted.
Yeah, there's a Brendan Fraser one as well that always pops up where he looks really depressed and awful.
Yeah. Another thing is, and this is maybe a job for if you want to get in touch with that publicist from Edinburgh. Maybe tell your neighbours to watch your special, and then a lot will become clear, and you don't have to do any of the. The problem is then you've always got to talk to them about comedy, which is annoying. Like, I would hate my neighbours to know that I'm a comedian.
I don't want them to know, but I think it would help because then, I do forget the hat, and I go get the mail, and I'm out there, and I got some free sweatpants from Ben and Jerry's, the ice cream company. So I'm just wearing it's all the free clothes that you get that you're just wearing around your house. Yeah. So it's like a joke T-shirt that says "Who farted?" And I got ice cream sweatpants, and I look like this, and I'm like, nobody cares. Everybody's cool, right? And I'm like, I don't want to have to think I got to put on an outfit to go get the mail, but then I'm like, I look like I broke into this house and I'm squatting there. So
See,
maybe
Bilal,
I got to be a little more presentable.
This is
But no,
exactly
I don't
why
want anybody
I'm
to
trying
know
to
I'm a
get.
comedian. Yeah.
This is exactly why I'm trying to get Crazy Alan's Swamp Shack in Texas to sponsor our podcast. Because I want free merch like that.
Yeah.
What is that?
For my honeymoon, which for my now defunct marriage, I drove across America for a month, and one of the places that we went was this restaurant.
Can't believe that marriage didn't work.
Honestly, Kyle, aside from this interview, it is the best month of my life. Now, but we stopped at this place because it's like
I lived here. I wouldn't do that to my girlfriend.
No, weirdly, we both wanted to go, but and like because of like films and like popular culture, it's like you want to stay in a motel where it feels really scary. It's part of the trip, and so to go to like these novelty places called things like Crazy Alan's Swamp Shack, and I went there, and it's just a restaurant. They had an alligator in a tank, the kind of place, and I bought the T-shirt and I wore it on last week's show, and now I'm trying to reverse engineer a sponsorship from them.
Oof, you better. Crazy Alan Swamp. Whereabouts in Texas were you at? Guessing closer to the Gulf.
Yeah,
Kima. Looking it up. Yeah.
Kima.
Okay, yeah, those yeah, they're not getting those lizards too far inland.
No.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you let me or one of my boys use our accents to get you that merch? Because you come in there rolling up with that voice. Ooh, they're gonna think you're subverting. They're gonna think you're another immigrant jumping the Rio Grande trying to steal their jobs.
Nah, it's all gonna be on email. I'm confident they've got an email.
Yeah.
Well, your confidence is unmatched in that. I bet Crazy Alan Swamp Shack definitely has at least an AOL account.
Yeah.
Look, America is very exciting to us. You have to understand.
Like weirdly, it's the dream to go to gig in America, but it's so hard visa wise. You can't earn any money. So
yeah,
it's like you don't
Is it on that level of like?
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, is it on that level of like Vice's like terror tourism now? Like when Vice, like people from Vice would just be edgelords, like we're in Afghanistan and we're gonna try Muslim pizza. Well, mortar shells go off. Is that what coming to America is like? Like, all right,
pretty much.
I don't know.
Texas is definitely guns on the hip, guns everywhere.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, I got when I came to America, there was again I get suckered in by these things. But driving through Texas, I think when we stopped off in Amarillo, because it just had to be, it was a town we had to stay in because it's so huge. For like 200 miles, you've been advertised this big steakhouse for like miles and miles, and it was Valentine's Day. So and now you can see why it didn't work out. And so and so I went in to book. I was like, let's go and book a table in here because it's. Do you know what I mean? Just as a novelty thing. And they said, oh, we can pick you up in a limousine for free. And I was like, fantastic. So they turned up at our hotel with like the big bull horns on the front. And then we got in, and then he stopped at another hotel. I mean, what are you doing? He went, oh, we're picking up more people. So it was just like a big cab. And this guy got in, and so he started making small talk with us. I was like, what do you do? He's like, I'm a truck driver. And then he was like, to the guy driving the limousine, he was like, what's the open carry law? And they're like, well, you won't be allowed to take it in the restaurant. He's like, well, I'm just not going to show him that I've got this. And like, opened his, and I was like, oh no, what's happened? So... Yeah, I'm a sucker for all that kind of stuff because I've seen it in films and
that's it, right? Yeah.
So we think America weirdly is cool.
I can't believe it's a real place.
Yeah.
Well, hey, even living here, it's hard to believe that sometimes. But I like to hear the outside perspective because then as an American, you see that stuff, you're like, get a load of this bullshit. And like you want to avoid it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I don't need to deal with these. But so to hear somebody else go like, look at all this cool stuff, I'm like, maybe I should appreciate this a little more.
Yeah, like I think I'm appreciating on a certain level, and like obviously like the landscapes are like phenomenal. Grand Canyon, like I know you said it in your other special, you can't believe it's real, but it really is like spectacular. And then to go to New York and go into a bar where you have to open the front of a dryer and then you're in an arcade. It's pretty good to me.
I mean, I do think that, yeah, that's, for all the punchlines that America provides for the world, and you're not going to hear me arguing on those, there is, at least geographically, like just within the continental United States, just you can drive through, swamps, rainforests, alpine mountain, like you can access all these areas within the one country. Not to say that that's not European also. But
we don't
no
have
passports,
anything.
none of that. Just get in a car and drive.
Yeah. Bilal, what's your problem?
My problem is, it's not. Can I ask? I want to ask a question instead because it's boring. Kyle, what? You said that you have a lot of cats on your Instagram, and I'm the same. Joey hates cats. I absolutely love them. What are your favorite sort of cat videos? You stay quiet.
I'm not going to speak.
Oh man! All right. I think if we're getting real about it,
yeah, please.
It's the sweet ones.
Yeah.
It's the ones where somebody like adopts like a senior cat, and then the cat's just real appreciative. It's the sweet ones. I got a little soft spot for the old ones, and I like them. It's either that or it's the ones where like the cats are utterly destroying somebody's house.
Yeah.
I went on a run of those last night.
What about
just going batshit?
What about the ones where the cats sound like they're speaking Italian? Have you seen any of these?
The cat speaks Italian?
There's a cat. There's a.
Oh wait, the Italian guy where the cat likes him a whole bunch.
I think so, but there is a cat that literally goes "Buongiorno." It's amazing.
Oh yeah, those are great.
Yeah, good. He does.
Yeah, the ones where the cat's kind of a little onomatopoeia, kind of talking. Yeah, I'm on board with those. Listen, you're not unless something bad's happened to the cat. I'm on board with that video. I'm on board with the cat video. So all of them. My answer's all of them.
Great guest.
Great guest. And not to sort of give any hints away as to what happens in the narrative arc of the new special, but in your new place, have you got any new cat friends?
Oh man, too much. Much like how a lot of relationships suffer when you're a touring artist, just not home long enough to form those bonds. Can't have them critters around right now. It's breaks my heart a little bit. Maybe one day settle down. Couple of nice old cats sitting in the sun, listening to me shred guitar. They'll be deaf. That'll be ideal.
Yeah.
Couple of deaf cats, so I can just play a lot of instruments really bad. And but not right now, unfortunately.
Now, there's nothing worse than when people you don't know invite you to do something like a sort of weird hipster play date. But when you come to the UK, I don't know if you have these in America, we'll take you to the cat cafe. He's gone.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah, dude. We have him here. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. No, it's absolutely. That was me. I left because I was on my way there to go to cat cafe.
Yeah. I thought you was like, no.
I dipped out that fast at the concept though. No, I was like, I'm at the airport, man.
Yeah,
I'm going. Let's do it. I do like those. I kind of wonder, like, of the well-being. It's a little bit of a strip club for cats. You're there, you're petting them, you're not really loving them. You're
I mean,
just
I've obviously
them for
never
the affection.
been.
I don't know.
I have.
Have you? I knew you would have fucking been.
For my wedding, someone got us some vouchers. You know what? No. You know what? Don't bother because the cats don't care about you at all. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to come over because they're so used to humans being around. They just walk away from you. Waste of time.
Like, that's what I said. It's like a strip club. Unless you got those little churu treats.
Yeah.
They're not interested in your real life.
Carl, while we've got you, have you ever been a best man?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. So when you was best man,
couple times, yeah.
When you was best man, were you told about it in advance?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, would you find it weird that if you turned up to someone's wedding and then people like officiating the wedding kept coming up to you and going, "Oh, have you got the rings? You're the best man." And then when you go to the person, "Am I your best man?" and he says no, but then I've got all the duties of a best man. Is that out of order?
Was there an appointed best man, and then the best man didn't want to
Nope.
handle responsibilities,
Nope.
and you just had to be the secretary to the best man?
No, I just didn't really tell him.
So you just showed up and then like, hey, you ready to enjoy this open bar? By the way, you got to have a speech. You got to have rings. You got to have all this.
Didn't
You
have
just
to
got
do
juked
that
into
much.
it.
Yeah, but I would have liked the title.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I didn't.
finally.
I'm just surprised you brought this up now here.
Well, it's important.
Is this your problem? Is this the problem we're going covering?
No, we've done mine. I want to
No,
write
no.
more on stage. I'm done. I just thought I'd bring it
Oh,
up.
okay. Oh, okay. Well, this sounds like a... Well, I think I mean, why not? So okay. So this is for your wedding, Bilal.
It's
and
done.
Are you still married? Let me ask that.
Yeah.
I find this very triggering.
See,
You brought it up.
Cat Cafe, still married.
Yeah.
Alligator and Tank in Texas, not married. Got to manage expectations on these ladies. I would think, if I was told I was the best man at the wedding, I'd feel like that would like skew my enjoyment of the wedding. I go to weddings to have fun. I don't want to have responsibilities that I didn't know of in advance.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was maybe to rein me in. As the last wedding I went to, I fell through a table tennis table full of drinks.
That's
and ruined
true.
my
This
suit,
is true.
Like, it was good to be reined in a bit, but
Oh, well, okay. Now that there's now that makes sense, though.
yeah.
Give you some tasks, keep you on track, so you're not acting a fool in front of the family.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now that's the real issue coming out. All right, that's the real issue.
I think this is our last
corralled.
episode.
This is we're splitting up from after this.
Joey, you got nothing but divorces in your past,
I know.
man. What's up?
Well, let me know if that podcast with Shane doesn't work out. I'm free now. But
I just want to broadcast from the Cat Cafe, though, so you got to reconcile that.
yeah. Fine, I'll do it. Kyle, it's been such a pleasure talking to you. The special, like all of them, so good. Like also, like Shocks and Struts, just like absolute masterpiece. I've watched it or listened to it whilst driving to gigs many times, and I'm sure I'll be doing the same with this one. I watched it the other day for the first time, and I feel like sometimes with your stuff it just gets better and better. So I'm looking forward to spending some more time with Dirtnap. But just so in awe of your skills as a comedian, and we're like so happy that you could come on.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
And don't forget to check out Kyle and Shane Torres' podcast, No Accounting for Taste.
And the special.
Yeah, I think I.
Wait, why did you pause? Yeah, but say it again. Like
what?
Say the name of the special again and everything.
Oh, and don't forget to buy if you want to watch it early. Is it still on the early release? It sounds like it's just come out of prison. Is it still on early release?
Yeah, you can. It's on work release. You can catch nights and weekends. It's on 800 Pound Gorilla Media for $10. You get like 4 or 5 download codes with it. So I just want people to see it. So if you buy it, give them away. Have everybody chip in $2 so you can split it up with people. Yeah. I just want to get it out there.
And it is
while also recouping expenses that it costs to make it.
It's a master at the peak of his powers. So go check it out. It's $10, which is probably about £8.50.
Yeah,
that's the same as a pint now. Terrible business.
Might be less.
Yeah.
£8, £7.
Sadly, yeah.
And when he comes over to the UK, make sure you come check him out. So he's not just playing to 20 people, which I'm sure isn't going to happen. But yeah, nice one. Thank you so much, Kyle.
Thank you, guys.
That was Kyle Kinane. How exciting. Well done. You sorted that.
And we're done. And we're
done.
That was Kyle Kinane.
with a lovely chat.
And some choppy video.
Well, by the
No.
time it's edited, no.
It won't be.
No. But
All right.
for us, it was...
With a lovely chat.
yeah.
And maybe what I'm going to look like in the future. What do you think?
I hope so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can pull that off. That's why I'm
No, it's amazing, man. He's
Yeah.
he's like a legend, isn't he? So
Yeah, he really is at the top of his game.
he's smashing it. Yeah,
He's absolutely smashing it.
really good, really nice stuff as well. Like he's basic, you know, like you were saying before, or he was saying even, like he's not. It's not all trying to be edgy and political and all
Or
of that.
following
like a lot
like
of them.
the trends of how the media is consuming stand-up.
Yeah,
It's
not
like
at
he's
all.
doing
no,
his own-
No.
Anyway,
Quite nice shows.
he's at the peak of his powers. If you think we're at the peak of ours, smashing this. Don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe. And if you're new and you fancy jumping on the Patreon, we'd absolutely love that, to be fair.
Thank you, everyone. All the best.
See you next week. on
Salute.
I've got a problem, mate.